All right, welcome back, fellow TFFL owners, to another TFFL webcast. It is Tuesday, December 19th, 2017. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Hanukkah still going on? Can we get a confirmation on that?
Yep.
And Christmas coming up before our next webcast. So happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays in TFFL land. It is Packed Bowl week. Congratulations first to the Boba Fats, to the Amsterdam Packers for getting this far. Good title game shaping up. We'll talk a lot about that in a moment. I looked back. This is actually a rematch of the 2002 Packed Bowl, the only Packed Bowl title for the Boba Fats. I think the score was 52-48, Fats over the Amsterdam Packers. We had two great games this past weekend. Chief and I think Bill perhaps is watching live out there, or maybe he's too saddened to do so. Sorry about the loss, but both of you guys had great seasons. Chief, you especially, I think, basically keeping Andrew Luck, losing one of your 7 keepers the whole season, overcoming that with some good trades. Nice run to finish the season. Well done.
Thanks.
And then, two great games, 2 close games. Chiefs game, the AmPack winning that on the home field advantage points. The Beavers could have won that game, at any point on Monday night. So two great games, and I think as the record went throughout the season, our 2 best teams ultimately in the title game. Real quick intros. I'm Stick, managing editor of TFFL Media, leader of the Aliens. Last time I might be saying this, welcome to our commissioner, Chief, and maybe we'll just call him Skipper. We will definitely just call him Skipper of the Sponge Fishermen going forward. Welcome.
Thank you.
Berto, with Jack's Giant Killers. First title game in a while. You're commenting on, not participating in?
Yeah, I don't like that so much.
And Hank, czar and CEO of the K-Wheels, holders of the #1 overall pick next year.
Good evening, everyone. Yes.
Let's get our trivia question out there for you to think about, and then we'll talk about some big things. Real simple trivia question. It's got 2 parts to it, though. I want you to tell me the TFFL franchise that has the highest score as a losing team in the Pack Bowl. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the second part of the question, within 5 points, what is the highest point total that did not win a Pack Bowl?
God damn it.
We had two relatively high scoring games this past weekend. What did we have? Ultimately 67-64, including those home field advantage points, 78-73. Are those kinds of scores going to be enough in our Pack Bowl this year? We'll see.
So within 5 points, you said?
Within 5 points.
Wild ass guess.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm annoyed because I was gonna peruse this earlier and I didn't. the Pack Bowl winners.
You had to know it was going to be a Pack Bowl themed question.
I know. Not enough time.
All right, let's get into our roundtable chat. I want to start with the 2 teams that I acknowledged already that have fallen out of the playoffs. We can do a quick look ahead to their off season, to their chances of returning in 2018. Let's start with Chief and the Sponge. I've got a couple questions here. At the risk of beating a dead Colt, I want to talk about Andrew Luck once again. We actually have new news or new rumors this week. Surgery, maybe an option, another surgery for him. Whether it is or not, it feels like we're back at the same point we were a year ago, or more than a year ago. Chief, what do you need to see to feel confident that he's your guy? Do you need? Do you need to see him back on the field in training camp? Do you need to see him play a preseason game? Is there any chance you're aggressive in the off season and going out and finding somebody else?
Well, to take the second part first, I don't think I'm going to find anybody else. If I don't see me paying the cost to improve over Philip Rivers. I'll keep Rivers and be very happy. Fair, I don't have third and fourth round picks this year, so I'm not active. Based on what I have now, I hopefully plan to recoup some of those picks. But as it stands now, I'm not a player when those backup quarterbacks start getting taken. So if I feel I'm ready to move on for Andrew Luck, then I'll have no problem keeping Rivers again. The first part of the question, I don't think I have to see Luck play. As fool me once, shame on you kind of thing. I think as long as he is active and as long as he is ready to start the opener, I'd say that's good enough for me. With the caveat is that is an awful long time away.
Right.
Exactly that kind of thinking that put me in this position in the first place. But would I prefer him to be throwing a few passes in the preseason game, seeing how he won't have thrown one in over a year, or almost 2 years at that point? Yeah, that'll make me feel a lot better. But I don't think I have a red line that needs to be crossed.
I hadn't really thought about it because I think Philip Rivers, sort of like Roethlisberger and Eli, all from that same draft class, we never think of those guys as keepers for some reason.
It's been a while.
But you can make it, yeah. Rivers obviously did it this year. He proved it this year. He is a great fantasy quarterback at times. I think if you're willing to say now that he could be a keeper for you next year, I think there's probably a bigger quarterback controversy already for you. Whether or not Luck, and even if Luck is playing in the preseason next year, I think you can make a case for keeping Rivers.
I'm also hopeful they'll have better coaching.
Yes,
I think that's a fairly safe bet.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you, and the panel can chime in on this, I don't know if it was in an email or in the TFFL chat or in your report, but I think you recently made a strong case that your title window is closing fast. Do you really believe that? This looks like a pretty good team. A younger Luck as your franchise quarterback would make you feel better about the future, I'm sure.
Well, my top two running backs, for as good as they are going to be 29 and 30 going into next season. Now Ingram's not, he's been fortunate enough to not be a every down back for most of his career, so he's got a little more juice in his legs than probably most 29-year-old running backs do, as evidenced by the weekend. McCoy's a year older, and back in the beginning of the season, or even towards the middle stages, where I was all but giving up on this year, and I was looking forward. Yeah, I would love to go forward with Aaron Jones or Matt Brady or some younger guys. Crowell's still a young guy, and maybe trade off Ingram and McCoy, see what I can get for him. I think making the semifinals has kind of softened that a little bit. McCoy obviously still looks great, but yeah, I don't know if they're gonna get any better than they are right now. So I think that's why I phrased it. It was my last good chance. We'll see it. If Buffalo does nothing to bolster the running back during the draft and free agency, and McCoy is once again the basically option A, B, and C in their offense, then it's going to be hard to say goodbye to him. But again, we have a long time between now and then. But yeah, if you ask me mid-season, without a doubt, I would have answered, yeah, I don't think those guys are going to be on the team next year.
I chalk Chiefs' response up to just losing that game and and being upset and bitter directly after the loss.
Oh God, no!
More than
carried me.
actually looking at his team objectively. So I mean, as he states, the running backs aren't young, but I think there's more gas in the tank, and I think there's more gas in the tank for the Sponge. And this isn't the final year that they're going to compete. I think they're going to be a very good team next year, and you got guys like Devontae Adams, Sterling Shepard, possibly. I mean, you got some younger guys there. Amari Cooper hopefully is going to come back and play like a very good receiver, like he can be. So I think there's a lot to look forward here for the Sponge. But yeah, the running backs are a little bit older.
Sure, but the Sponge, I've got the South, and I think there's a lot of room to go in the South, and Chief can be right where he is right now, and I think he's got a decent team. Ingram's going to be a part of it, don't you think? Unless there's a trade involved in McCoy, you got some fun decisions to make in the offseason. Solid base to grow with.
Yeah, I mean, the running backs are veterans. They're not. I don't think they're over the hill.
Right.
And I want to give a quick shout out to Chief. I think it was just 3 weeks ago, maybe not much longer. Picked up Julian Edelman as a free agent. Chief, if I'm correct. Sneaky free agent pickup, and at the moment, I think I've got him as a projected keeper for the Sponge.
Yeah, assuming he comes back and looks good in the summer, sure.
That's a great free agent pickup.
Sure, it's a good one.
Again, another veteran, but I think 2018 should probably be a pretty strong season for all these guys on the Sponge. All right, let's shift over to the Beavers. Bill, I don't know if you're watching out there live. Hopefully you'll tune in. Very good season by Bill and the Beavers. Similar to Chief and the Sponge, Bill had to overcome the loss of his franchise quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, for 8 weeks or so. Jared Goff proved to be a great draft pick, just as Rodgers himself was for the Beavers many years ago. So when Bill was on the webcast a few weeks ago, we sort of forced him or pressured him to answer who his keeper quarterback will be next year, and he said Jared Goff. I wonder if in Week 15 when he starts Aaron Rodgers, that isn't a sign that he's going to keep Rodgers instead.
I'll step in and save you from your gagging spell. This is a good problem to have for Thornburg. He's got two good quarterbacks. Goff is maybe the longer term value, but Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and you got to think that if he's going to be able to probably not going to keep both, but he could probably get a nice package for one of them. He plays his cards right. He just needs to figure out which one it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the Beavers quarterback situation notwithstanding, the rest of the team is, Christian McCaffrey, great, looking, upswing there. Le'Veon Bell, I mean, he's solid. He's got, 3 good running backs and 2 really good receivers. He's got the foundation in place moving forward. He has his first-round pick, right? No, well, signs are pointing up for the Beavers. They're not old. So this is a good team that's going to compete. And it's funny, even with a guy like, Demaryius Thomas falling off, and it's, they still got a couple intriguing young guys too, like Marlon Mack, and Mike Williams. So I mean, there's a lot of, I think, good things here for the Beavers. And but to answer your initial question, I think I think Rodgers is back to being the guy, and I think that's the way Bill will roll next year.
Yeah, I think there's 2 parts to the QB decision. The first is, does Bill get enough of a package to give up Rodgers? But the second part is he's got to want to keep Goff. And I think he just proved he really wants to play Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think you can make no mistake about it. The Beavers want Aaron Rodgers to be their quarterback. And as long as he is one of the best guys in the league, he's going to be. And so, if he makes that and comes to his, inner struggle with that, then try and package Goff for something reasonably valuable.
Yeah, I think looking at the demand side here. Looking at the demand side here, Goff's value in theory is never going to be higher than it is right now, or there will be before next season. On the supply, how many teams are going to be really looking for a quarterback and think Goff is a guy to maybe the Hams, want to move on from Breeze to Goff might be a fit there. I'm not good at thinking of these things on the fly. I don't know how many teams are going to be in the market. Perhaps the Mongols, I guess, might be able to use a quarterback. But yeah, if Goff's had a great season, I think the time's right to trade him.
Save that one. The Mongols should be making an offer. The Mongols should be offering for Goff. There's a clear need there.
I think one thing you see in the TFL too is teams do not like to give up on that star quarterback, whether that's Peyton Manning or probably the Hams are going to have tough decisions about Breeze. Nobody wants to give up on their core. I didn't want to give up on Rivers at one point. Teams don't move easily on from those stud quarterbacks, even if they get very long in the tooth. And Rodgers is only 34.
There's no reason to give up on Rodgers.
Right, exactly. So I don't think you're going to get a lot for Goff, but you'll get something.
Yeah, I think there are some teams out there that will be in the market for a quarterback. All right, let's have our Pac Bowl preview. No home field advantage points, right, Chief?
Correct.
All right. So we got 2 11-2 teams. At the risk of offending anybody on the panel, I think we have the 2 best teams in the title game. The records certainly prove that. Both coming off high-scoring wins in the semifinals. I noted, I found it interesting, neither one of these teams really has a dominating quarterback this year. We've talked about the Pats constantly switching between Prescott and Stafford. They may do it again heading into the Pac Bowl. Ralph has Russell Wilson, who has been great at times, but has had some off weeks like he just did. Should be a good game. Give me your pick and tell me who the difference-making players are.
So I guess I'll start. Lineups will need some adjusting in here, but I think this is going to be very close again. Once the AMPAC get Zeke in there, I think that changes the dynamic a little bit. He is going to play. Fournette, if he's healthy, I think that's also a game changer there. So I would say, assuming those 2 guys are in the lineup and healthy, I think Russell Wilson's going to have a bounce back game against Dallas. I think Prescott and Wilson will probably cancel each other out, actually, pretty much. And I don't think Gurley can possibly do what he did last week. So I'm going to go with the AMPAC, and we'll go 70-68 AMPAC.
We had Rob on maybe 2 weeks ago, and he talked about to win the Pac Bowl, who's going to have to win 12 games in a row, which I think, as far as anyone knows, is probably a league record for consecutive victories, and counting should he happen to win. So, we don't know how healthy the AMPAC is. I don't know about Melvin Gordon. I don't know about Keenan Allen. I don't know about, Leonard Fournette. I expect Allen will miss the game and Fournette will play. I think Stafford's going to be in there for the Pats. I imagine he has to. And I think he's going to have a big game against Cincinnati. And I think that's going to be the difference. So I'm going to pick the Pats in this one. I don't know who the quarterbacks are going to be lining up. Maybe Orleans Darkwa gets in there, or maybe James White stays again. I don't know. That's definitely the weak spot. But Gurley, now's not the time to start doubting Todd Gurley. Now's not the time to start doubting what Travis Kelce's going to do. I think Stafford's going to have a big game. Yeah, I really like the Pats. I don't want to overanalyze this too much score-wise. Let's say 78-72.
Hank?
Yeah. All right. Sorry. I'm having terrible connections. My apologies. All right. So Berto says the Packers. Chief says the Fats. I think it's going to be a great game. I think these are probably the two best teams. I think there's a lot of guys who could score points and have big games. I fear the Fats just got their really big game from Todd Gurley with his 34. That's monstrous. You look at Ralph getting Ezekiel Elliott back, and they'll probably want to feed him a little bit and let him have a big game. Who knows? I hope it's putting a jinx on them, but I'm going to tell you, I think the Packers are going to win, and I think they're probably going to win by 10 or 15. But I'm going to say it's going to be Packers 78, Fats 65.
Wow.
I mean, this is just going to be a good game, up and down the lineup. A good, strong, high-scoring game. Even across, I mean, their defenses, even the Jacksonville defense, the Baltimore defense, they both got good tight ends. Delaney Walker, nowhere near Travis Kelce, but those are, they got a tight end matchup. Curious to see whether Josh Gordon stays in the lineup for the AMPAC. But yeah, this is a tough one to predict. This is going to be a tight game, a high-scoring game. I'm leaning Fats a little bit right now. Todd Gurley it's not reasonable to expect 34 more points, but I'm kind of with Chief on this one. Gurley's going to get his points, some good amount of them. A.J. Green is going to get his points. Michael Crabtree on Monday night. Kelce. And if Stafford can outpoint Russell Wilson enough, I'm going to give this one to the Fats by 4.
We should mention Josh Gordon and Ralph's hubris in insisting on starting Josh Gordon, in that Ralph's going to start him and he better deliver. I mean, this is why he kept him and waited on this guy for whatever it is, 2 years to play. Here you go, Josh Gordon. Let's see you do something.
Larry Fitzgerald, Paul Richardson was a very good start for Ralph at points this season.
Yeah, I think Martavis Bryant now with Antonio Brown out has to be in.
I would think
he had to be in last week too.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any rationale that has him on the bench right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
Yeah. It'll be the Josh Gordon hubris is the rationale. That's what we're going to get.
Yeah. So these guys haven't. There's been no lineup adjustments yet, clearly. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll be back next week. I probably not right after Christmas. I'm thinking later next week, but we'll get together. We'll talk about the Pac Bowl. We'll talk about the off season. Chief, we don't need to go into a ton of detail right now, but again, your commissionership winds down at some point, whether you consider that to be Tuesday next week after the Pac Bowl. Just give us a quick sense of what's next for the TFFL. And who's going to be leading the way?
You mean the off the field stuff?
Yes.
Pac Bowl, Party Bowl. Trade window opens. Well, it's not going to be my decision. I'm going to get the everything in order, documents and everything else. Update the draft order and the actual, draft, 12-round draft picks matrix. Get everything else tidied up and put a bow on it and have commissioner elections. So I will put an email out sometime after the PAX Bowl or after the Party Bowl, probably be better. Calling for nominations for the next commissioner. I'd like to move quickly on that. At some point the rules process is going to start, but that's not going to be my deal.
Is it fair to say that Terry is not going to be our next commissioner?
I don't think that's fair to say.
Okay, that's the impression I'm getting.
Oh, for me, I hope not. I do not know of any other nominations.
Okay. Okay, good.
I've said in past weeks I don't want to assume it's going to be Terry, but that's not because of anything I know. If someone else wants to, be commissioner, I hope they don't with refraining from self-nominating because, we've talked about Terry's name and don't want it to be assumed.
Right, and we've been
out there. You want to be commissioner? Please, let me know.
Yeah, and just the other thing to throw out there, Terry shouldn't feel pressured into feeling that he must do this either, because we've been busting his chops and teasing him about it. So he has to want to do it. And if he decides he wants to do it, then he'd make a fine candidate.
All right, good. Let me give you a trivia answer to start wrapping things up here. I'm looking for the highest score posted by a losing team in the PAC Bowl. Interesting answers. Okay, so the answer is the Boba Fats. Boba Fats. Actually, so they won that 2002 PAC Bowl over the MPAC. They lost the 2011 PAC Bowl to the Slippery Beavers, 86-80.
Oh.
The runner-up is the answer Berto gave. K-Wheels was 79 in that 80-79 loss to the Giant Killers.
So do I get
a point? Points was it for the K-Wheels?
You had 79. So 79. Nobody got the Boba Fats, but if you were within 5 of 80, which is, and Chief nailed it, yes.
79. The point.
All right. Chief gets 2 points.
Just one.
Just one.
Chief gets 1. Berto gets 1.
Yep.
I get 0. All right.
Chief running away with it.
Chief is starting to run away with it. Chief now with 20. Hank with 17. Berto with 15. Guest with 12. There it is.
All right, we'll have one more week of this, I think. I'll see if I can come up with like a 12-point question or something.
We could roll this into off-season webcast.
Maybe a 3 would be enough. 3-point question.
Let's keep going with it. We'll keep rolling it.
We'll start fresh, Berto. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll start fresh season too.
All right.
Dick, a multi-part question with a lot of layups would be appreciated.
We'll see if we can make next week a little interesting. All right. So good luck to the Amsterdam Packers.
Did I show the draft order?
What's that?
Did I show the draft order?
No, we didn't. I'm sorry. I asked
you to show off the draft order.
Let's do that before we wrap up here. Updated draft order.
We skipped the draft order.
Yeah.
We have the updated. The only thing that has changed now that we have this is wheels, mongrels, devils, hams, lizards, aliens. We knew killers. We knew into the 8th spot with their loss, taking over the Senators, who are now our 9th, and the Beavers will have the 10 pick. So then we will see who gets the last 2 picks in order as we go. But that is your up-to-the-minute standings.
Well done. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, good luck to the Amsterdam Packers. I do fear a little bit the terror that Ralph will unleash But nonetheless, good luck to the Amsterdam Packers. Good luck to the Boba Fatts back in the title game. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. We'll be back at some point next week after the holidays. Good luck in the Pack Bowl. Take care.
Happy holidays. Good luck, guys.
Indeed. Good luck to you both.